BBC News, 6th of March 2023, China Square, the low-priced, low-quality Chinese store in the middle of Kenya Row. To stop what they termed a China invasion, thousands of Kenyan small-time traders marched to the deputy president's office in Nairobi, blowing whistles and vuvuzelas. Their ire was directed at the China Square store that had gained popularity with customers due to its affordable products. Its quick success had rekindled long-standing concerns about the foreign rivalry. The store in a mall outside of Nairobi had already temporarily closed its doors by the time of the demonstration last week as controversy surrounded it. It had only been dealing for 5 weeks when it went viral on social media. It was very alluring due to its affordable prices compared to the petty trader's convenient position. However, a few small-scale traders who are crucial to Kenya's economy started to observe a decline in business. "We desire the Chinese to leave Kenya. Where will Kenyans go if the Chinese take over as the producers, traders, retailers, and even hawkers?" a trader who preferred to remain unnamed asked journalists at the demonstration. One of the attendees at the demonstration was Peter Sitati, a beauty products importer and retailer in Nairobi. A plastic pedicure stool, which he claims retails at China Square for about $21, essentially undercuts him by more than 50% and costs him around $43, £35, in his store. According to Mr. Sitati, "Our economy will crash as many Kenyan businesses shut their doors." When asked why he was charging so much more, he responded that he was covering the taxes and duties he had to pay and that he believed he might have paid more for the products from China than China Square. China Square refused to explain how it sets its rates despite being questioned by the BBC, but it might be gaining from its ability to purchase in larger quantities. It might also have a closer connection to the producers. Since many smaller Kenyan traders must use intermediaries, they might pay more. Lei Cheng, the founder of China Square, fiercely maintained his innocence. "My company is legitimate, and it emphasizes friendly rivalry. We have complied with all government instructions for setting up shop in Kenya, and we are now here to end the hegemony," according to Mr. Lei. He noted that in the first 2 weeks of operation, his company made more than $157,000. "The individuals battling us feel threatened because Kenyans are now aware of our existence and that we are not overcharging them. Chinese prices for low-quality products are destroying Kenya. Some Kenyan customers are siding with the retailer because they were paid by China and are concerned that the lower costs will destroy Kenya. It should not be permitted for China Square to be open. According to Sharon Wanjiku, they are offering affordable products of poor quality. Currently, the cost of living is exceptionally high, and these prices are precisely what we need to prevent even all Kenyans from losing their jobs." Government officials became interested in the store after it quickly gained notoriety and caused controversy. One minister even suggested that it stop being a retailer. "Chinese investors are accepted in Kenya as manufacturers, not as traders or invaders." On the Friday before China Square shut down, Trade Minister Moses Kuria posted a message on Twitter. "It is still unknown why the store shut its doors to patrons. There were rumors that it had been pressured to hide until conditions improved by the authorities. It is still unknown why the store shut its doors to patrons. There were rumors that it had been pressured to hide until conditions improved by the authorities." A statement from China Square said it was closing to reevaluate and replan our company's strategy and that it was considering the possibility of cooperating with local traders. However, Kenya's Anti-Counterfeit Authority reported at the end of last week that it had looked into a complaint alleging that China Square was selling counterfeit products but had not discovered proof. The Kenya Chinese Chamber of Commerce, KCCC, which held China Square's reopening on Monday, did not elaborate on the nature of the discussions with the government. The KCCC statement stated that the chamber looks forward to equal and fair treatment of all companies across the board to ensure a favorable business climate. Still, it did not specify whether a new agreement had been reached. Some worry that the dispute over the store has given the incorrect impression of the economy and investor interest. To reassure prospective investors, Career Singh Oye of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has stated that Kenya welcomes foreign investment and makes no distinction regarding where it originates. "A non-discriminatory investment environment is vital to the healthy development of bilateral practical cooperation," said Wu Peng, China's top diplomat for Africa, who expressed his satisfaction with the clarification. Kenya has historically battled to strike a balance between promoting free trade, luring in foreign investment, and shielding local vendors from unfair competition. It is backward to prevent foreigners from conducting legal commerce in Kenya. The capacity of Kenyans needs to be increased to create competitive goods, according to Kenyan economist Jurishan Ikiara. There must be deportations of Chinese. According to the Kenya Investment Promotion Act, which establishes requirements for foreign investors, an investment must be helpful to the nation by creating new jobs, transferring knowledge or technology, or using local resources for goods or services. Although there is no information on the number of Chinese businesspeople or residents in Kenya, there has been a rise in anti-Chinese prejudice in recent years. This is partly because of claims that specific Chinese residents of Kenya have engaged in racism and worries that Chinese traders will oust Kenyans from their businesses and employment. 7 Chinese citizens working in 2 markets in Nairobi were deported from Kenya in 2019 after being accused of lacking work permits and operating in a sector designated for locals only. 4 Chinese men were deported in 2020 after they were charged with caning a Kenyan employee of a Chinese eatery. President William Ruto has remained silent on the subject so far. Still, before being elected last year, he pledged to deport Chinese citizens conducting business that Kenyans could handle. We have agreements with various nations regarding the types of business or employment that can be performed locally without a work visa and those that foreigners can only carry out. And Mr. Ruto claimed in June that that level does not involve store sales, kiosk sales, or maize roasting. Although it is evident that China Square is not operating from a kiosk, the petty traders' complaints about its reopening continue to exist.